Today I'm going to show you how to install Havoc Off-Road's HS2 hoop step on this 2019 new body style Ram 1500. Let's go ahead and get started. So on our HS2s, our brackets are going to come already welded to our board, which is cool. The first thing that we need to do is determine what is our driver's side and our passenger side. So I actually have the driver's side in front of me right now, but to do this when you get your kit is you're going to look at the placement of your brackets. Now your front bracket, which is going to go towards the front of the truck, is going to line up kind of with your step plate right here. There's also going to be a smaller gap in between where the bracket is welded on and the end of the board compared to the rear. The rear is going to have a larger distance between the bracket and the end of the board. So if we look at the rear bracket is actually going to line up with your tube. And that's how you can tell the difference. So now we're underneath our truck on our driver's side. We have our truck up on a lift. Now you don't need a lift to do this installation, we just want to make sure that you can see everything that we're doing. So then you're going to take your driver's side board, and what we're going to do is just lift it up into place and set it right over our factory studs. We can see our middle bracket here is going to use the bottom two and the top middle hole. Once we have that in place, we're going to use our zinc washers on each of our studs. And then we're also going to use a serrated flange nut. Now once we have this middle one done, it's going to hold everything in place for us. Now one tip, guys, if you've never had running boards on this truck before, these studs might be painted. If that's the case, you're going to need to clean these studs off before you do your installation. I would recommend a die out of a tap and die set, a M8 by 1.25 die. Now we're up at our front set of studs. Again, we're going to use the two bottom, and then this time we're using the far left or the rearmost hole at the top. And again, we're going to use our zinc washers on each stud, and then our serrated flange nuts. Now our last set of studs is going to look exactly the same as our first set, two at the bottom and then one at the rearmost hole. Again, we're going to use our flat washers on each stud, and then our serrated flange nuts. Now again, these are slotted holes, so you have a little bit of adjustment side to side. Just make sure your board is evenly spaced, and then we can go ahead and tighten down all of our nuts. Now once you have your board adjusted, we're going to use a 13mm and tighten up our flange nuts. Now on these, you don't want to go super tight, you just want to snug them up. We don't want to accidentally rip out or damage these studs. Now the same thing on our center bracket. We're going to use our 13mm to tighten down all of our flange nuts. So now we're back at our first bracket, and we're going to do the same exact thing. Now that's going to complete our driver's side. Our passenger side is going to install exactly the same way. So just repeat all those steps on your passenger side. That's going to complete the installation. If you have any questions, give us a call or visit us online.